Hello, everyone. My name is Nancy Boily, and I'm a speech language pathologist with 18 years of experience working with children through young adults with speech and language communication disorders, including supporting individuals who are nonverbal or minimally verbal. Today, I'm excited to share some insights that may help us unlock meaningful communication for those nonverbal or minimally verbal clients. Because every person deserves a voice, whether it's spoken or expressed in other powerful ways. So this video is part 1 of 2 of Speech Builder's summer series called Working with Nonverbal Clients, Promoting Participation, Leading to Success. In this presentation, we'll explore how we can partner with nonverbal or minimally verbal clients to create pathways for expression, connection, and growth. To help organize my thoughts, I've outlined 10 components that are essential to consider when working with nonverbal clients. Here we go. As professionals, we can increase participation with nonverbal clients by creating an engaging, supportive, and communicatively rich environment. The goal is to make communication meaningful and accessible so the client wants and is able to participate. So here's how we do it. The first component that we need to consider when working with nonverbal clients has to do with building a rapport. It is very important. Building rapport leads to trust. Both are essential in speech therapy, especially when working with nonverbal clients. Knowing a child's interests helps you create a warm, engaging environment from the first session. Following the child's lead and interest also helps to build comfort and motivation. Acknowledge and respond to communication attempts. Strive to make statements as opposed to asking them questions, and build on what the child says. Next, building rapport also supports functional client-centered goals. Therapy should reflect the client's real-world communication needs. Knowing what the child likes or dislikes ensures your goals are motivating and meaningful. It also helps avoid using materials or contexts that may be triggering or aversive. Building a rapport can also enhance motivation and participation. Preferred activities and toys can be used as reinforcers or communication targets. A highly motivating item, such as bubbles, is more likely to elicit a communicative response or attempt, such as gesturing, pointing, or using a symbol, picture cue. Dislikes can also be powerful. Many children learn to communicate refusal or no when given access to things they don't want. Building a rapport can also promote family involvement. Spending some time asking parents for input, it shows that you value their expertise and insight. It encourages collaboration and strengthens the therapeutic alliance. Parents are more likely to follow through with strategies at home if they see that the therapy is relevant and respectful of their child's preferences. Building a rapport can also help to avoid possible triggers or meltdowns. Some children have strong sensory aversions or emotional triggers. Knowing dislikes in advance prevents accidentally using a stimulus that could result in a shutdown or behavioral escalation. The second component to consider when working with nonverbal children has to do with using motivating and preferred activities. So take some time to talk with parents before meeting with the client to find out what kinds of toys or topics the child is interested in so you can build upon those in therapy. Incorporate toys, games, songs, or sensory items that the client enjoys. Embed communication goals within these preferred activities. You can turn passive tasks into interactive experiences, turn-taking games, and choice-making. The third thing to consider when working with nonverbal children is the use of visual supports. Visual supports can enhance communication. Children may have challenges with expressive language, and visuals can support an alternative or supplemental means of communication. They can also reduce anxiety. Visuals can provide predictability, which is especially helpful for children who experience anxiety or difficulty with transitions. Visuals may include visual schedules, timers, choice boards, or first-then charts. Visuals can support cognitive connections as well. By pairing pictures or symbols with words, children can strengthen their understanding of language and make better connections between concepts. Visuals can also help facilitate social interaction. Visuals that depict social situations to help children with practice and understand social rules and norms in a structured, low-pressure way. And lastly, visual supports can help with sensory processing. Visuals provide a nonverbal, sensory-friendly form of input, which can be less overwhelming for children who struggle with auditory processing. The fourth component to consider when working with nonverbal children has to do with introducing accessible communication tools, or AAC. Depending on the level of your client's communication ability and needs, you may want to introduce accessible communication tools such as AAC, or augmentative and alternative communication, which includes the use of a range of tools and strategies to help individuals with speech and language impairments communicate more effectively. These tools can be used to supplement or replace spoken or written communication, and they can be as simple as pictures or as complex as a sophisticated computer-based system. AAC gives the client a voice. It can span from low-tech to high-tech. Some examples may include, well, first let's start with no tech. So gesturing, pointing, signing, or using body language. Then we go to low tech, which may include picture boards or choice cards. Boards may include symbols for needs, wants, emotions, or common activities. The child points or hands over a picture to communicate. Then we go to a mid-tech option, which may include a single message voice output device, one big button that says more or help when pressed, and it can be used for early requesting or cause and effect training. And lastly, we have high-tech AAC, which may include speech-generating devices or AAC apps. Some examples of apps may be Proloquo Go, Lamp Words for Life, or Touch Chat. These are customizable with vocabulary that suits the child's life and often used if speech isn't emerging and the child shows interest in screens. Making AAC work in real life. You always want to select vocabulary that is functional and meaningful. Some examples: want, go, more, stop. Core words are flexible and powerful. When providing coaching and practice opportunities to families and staff, it can be a successful method of communication for our clients. The following are some key things to consider when using these low to high-tech components. Always presume competence with your clients. AAC does not delay speech development. It can actually support it. The SLP or SLPa matches the tool to the child's cognitive, motor, and sensory profile. Tools are used alongside spoken language and gestures to build understanding and communication confidence. You always want to ensure that these tools are always available and used consistently across settings. The next component of working with nonverbal children has to do with providing choices and opportunities. So always offer real, motivating, and limited options at first. So maybe 2 to 3 max. Too many choices can overwhelm. Constantly offer opportunities for the client to make choices, such as, do you want bubbles or blocks? Should we play more or stop? Give wait time so the client can process and respond. Honor their choices to reinforce communication. So, providing choices and opportunities helps to develop functional communication skills. Making choices teaches the client that communication has power. They can influence their environment. It builds functional skills for requesting, rejecting, and initiating interaction. This is especially important for clients using AAC or emerging verbal skills. They can also provide choices and opportunities that help foster autonomy and self-advocacy, allowing the client to have some control over their own experience, which is essential for engagement and self-determination. It teaches the client to advocate for preferences rather than relying on passive behavior or frustration. Providing choices and opportunities can also help to improve engagement and motivation. When clients choose preferred activities, they are more likely to pay attention, participate actively, or try new communication methods. It shifts therapy from compliance-based to person-centered. Providing choices and opportunities can also help to reduce challenging behaviors. Many behaviors like crying, hitting, or avoidance stem from not being able to communicate their preferences. Choice making reduces frustration by giving the client a clear, safe way to express their wants. Providing choices and opportunities can also teach cognitive and language skills. Making choices can target receptive language, understanding, do you want X or Y? Symbol recognition, such as choosing between pictured symbols. Vocabulary building, turn-taking, and decision-making. And lastly, providing choices and opportunities can help build a bridge to more complex communication. Once a client can consistently make simple choices, it can lead to multi-symbol AAC use, such as want plus swing, want, swing. Combining speech and gestures. Making choices about people, places, or actions. Choice making reduces that frustration by giving the client a clear, safe way to express their wants. The next component to take into consideration is adapting the task to match the client's abilities. Break tasks down into small, manageable steps. Simplify language and instructions. Use hand-over-hand support or physical guidance if needed. Then phase support as skills grow. And as always, keep in mind the hierarchy of verbal and physical prompting, which involves systematically fading supports to promote independent communication and/or task completion. The seventh component to consider when working with nonverbal clients involves encouraging joint attention and shared activities. Play alongside the client to build shared focus, essential for communication. Use parallel play or imitation to promote interaction without pressure. Joint attention and shared activities may help to build the foundation for communication. So joint attention, the shared focus of two individuals on an object or event, is a prerequisite for communication. It teaches the client that the interaction can involve more than just physical needs. It can also include sharing experiences, emotions, and intentions. Joint attention and shared activities may also help to support social development. Shared activities help nonverbal clients understand social turn-taking, imitation, and engagement. These are key early components that promote the development of more complex social behaviors. Joint attention and shared activities may also help to facilitate alternative communication. For nonverbal individuals using AAC or gestures, Joint attention helps them to connect their communicative attempts with a social partner. It ensures their efforts to communicate are recognized and meaningful in context. Joint attention and shared activities may help to strengthen relationships and trust. Consistently engaging in shared activities fosters emotional bonding and trust. This makes clients feel safe and understood, which can increase participation and reduce anxiety or frustration. Joint attention and shared activities may also help to enhance learning opportunities. So shared attention allows the adult to model language, behaviors, or skills in a context the client is already focused on. It creates a teachable moment where learning is natural and relevant to the client. And lastly, joint attention and shared activities may help to promote emotional regulation. Being engaged in predictable, enjoyable shared activities can help nonverbal clients stay regulated, especially with those with autism or sensory processing challenges. The eighth component to consider when working with nonverbal clients has to do with training communication partners. Training communication partners, such as parents, caregivers, teachers, or peers, is essential when working with nonverbal clients in speech therapy. These partners play a vital role in supporting functional communication outside of therapy sessions. Here's kind of a structured approach to training them. But really, I know this is a lot. I list a lot of ideas here. But really, if you use one or two at a time or build on them, that would be fantastic. We just want parents involved. So number one, we're going to educate on the client's communication style. Explain the client's current communication methods, whether it be gestures, facial expressions, or AAC use. Help partners understand that all behavior is communication, and provide information about the client's diagnosis, if appropriate, and how it affects communication. You can model communication strategies, demonstrate how to use visual supports, signs, or AAC devices, wait expectantly and give the client time to respond. You can interpret nonverbal cues and respond meaningfully. Use simple and clear language. You can also use video modeling, live demonstrations, or role playing. You can teach key strategies. So focus on practical, easy to use strategies like pause and wait. Give time for a response after asking or saying something. Follow the client's lead. Join in their interests instead of redirecting them. Use aided language input, modeling on AAC. Speak and simultaneously use the AA system. Comment more than question. This reduces pressure and encourages spontaneous interaction. Create communication opportunities. So use routines to build in chances to communicate. So holding a favorite toy until the client gestures or uses AAC. You can involve partners in sessions. You can invite them into therapy sessions to practice strategies under supervision and provide immediate feedback and encouragement. We can also use coaching and guided practice. We can help our partners set realistic goals and track progress, use checklists or communication logs to monitor strategy use. We can offer resources and supports, provide handouts, video examples, and AAC training materials. Encourage ongoing learning and support groups or forums. Reassure them that consistency and effort matter more than perfection. And last but not least, be culturally and emotionally sensitive. Respect family beliefs, routines, and comfort levels. Acknowledge the emotional challenges that come with raising or teaching a nonverbal child. Build trust and maintain a collaborative, non-judgmental tone. The ninth component that you should take into consideration when working with nonverbal clients has to do with celebrating attempts. Reinforce efforts to communicate, no matter how small. Use positive feedback, praise, or tangible rewards to encourage future participation. And lastly, the 10th component to take into consideration when working with nonverbal clients is to monitor and adjust. Always monitor and adjust. Continuously assess what works and adapt strategies based on your client's response. It is also important to remember that what works for one client may not necessarily work with another client. Participation should gradually increase in frequency and complexity and be done in a variety of different contexts. So, this entire process is dynamic, it's client-centered, and built on consistency, patience, flexibility, creativity, and collaboration. By making communication easy, motivating, and meaningful, we can increase a client's participation. This concludes part 1 of 2, working with nonverbal clients and promoting participation, leading to success. In part 2, I will talk a bit more about increasing participation and share some examples of activities you may want to consider when working with these clients. Thank you so much for your time. And I want to leave you with a quirky little comic that depicts a therapy session with a dog. I thought it was funny. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Goodbye.